I never dreamt I'd go through what I went through. I joke about it, but I always say I fell for the Mormon dream. You know, I got married young, I had my family, and I thought it was set in stone.
But after Kate Anderson had her third child, that stone's foundation began to crack. And she says her husband checked out.
I never thought I'd be raising my kids on my own with little education and no skills. I was living in Section 8 housing, and our house got broken into. And I remember thinking, I don't want my kids to think this is normal.
She worked multiple jobs while studying to become a nurse, but then another crushing blow struck her family.
He suffered with bad depression. Every single day I thought I was going to find him dead.
Her oldest son was in trouble with the law.
I think it was youth services that reached out and said, there's this alternative behavioral court he could go through, and there's programs, and they reached out to me and said, what can we do to help? And that was the first time I've ever had somebody ask me, well, how can I help you?
From therapy to tutoring, mentoring, and more, Kate was introduced to an array of resources funded by reinvestments and shifts to support juvenile justice reform. Resources she feels other parents who are struggling could use.
It takes a village to raise a kid, and us single moms are crying out like, yes, we would love it. You know, help us out. Grab a kid, teach them something, or take some time with one of them, because we don't have all that time.
She found ways to dedicate what little spare time she had to the program.
I remember when I started an accelerated nursing program, they said the key to this is shutting off other things that aren't a priority. I think I shut off my social media. I shut off a lot of free time and playing. I knew for those period of time I was going to give it everything I had to change my situation. So I can't tell you the times I've been in my car making phone calls. You know, even Shauna and I talked and did interviews over the phone, or we talked and set goals over the phone.
Don't get Kate's youngest son started on Shauna.
Is she like the family helper?
She's kind of like Nanny McPhee. Like how she like comes in the house and like helps you like do the right thing. And
so she teaches you a lot of lessons.
Yeah. It was kind of like another parent in the house that we really never had.
Shauna came into our life when I was gone majority of the day, and she came in and kind of just helped, I think maybe give me a backbone, or maybe give me some tips on, let's do this, let's set these schedules, let's set boundaries for your kids. And it was just somebody else besides me being able to come into the home and say, this is a easier way to function, a smoother way to function, that we can all get along and achieve goals better. So that was a huge help for me and my family.
I can see how mom can buy in and be like, okay, we need this, but how did you get your children to buy in and to take it seriously too?
Oh, we didn't at first. At first, when we were doing the parenting and bettering our family, they would complain when they knew Shauna was coming over. They would be like, we're leaving, we're hiding, we're gonna do this, you know, and I was like, well, that's your choice, but then this is what your consequence is gonna be, you know. We just started doing it and becoming routine and just saying, this isn't gonna change. We're making changes, and we're changing the way we're running our home.
Eventually, those changes began to seal the cracks that once threatened to destroy Kate's family, to destroy her children's future.
I am so grateful for my experience of what I went through in my life, because I feel like the only person to fail is me. And I learned that if I just believe in myself, that made a huge difference. And I have my son. You know, I don't think that would have happened if we would have just thrown him through the court system.